What did the United States actually lose with a 2-week ceasefire under Iranian terms? On the day the pause was announced, oil futures whiplashed. WTI fell 16.3% to about $94.55. Brent slipped 13.8% to roughly $94.13. But at the pump, Americans were still paying more. The national average gas price hit $4.14 a gallon, up about 39% from $2.98 at the end of February. That's the war premium sticking to everyday life. This came after 40 days of U.S.-Israeli strikes and Iranian retaliation that pushed the Gulf to the brink. A 2-week truce is brokered. The White House calls Iran's 10-point proposal a workable basis. Iran calls it victory. Lifting all sanctions, withdrawing U.S. forces from regional bases, releasing frozen assets, compensation, acceptance of enrichment in Persian versions of the plan. So, loss number 1, leverage. Before this war, Iran's deterrent was mostly the nuclear file. How close? How fast? Now Tehran has tested a more immediate lever, the Strait of Hormuz. Squeezing that choke point sent Brent over $100 and up to $126 at the peak, the fastest conflict-driven surge in years. Some tankers reportedly paid $12 million per transit for safe passage, about $1 per barrel just in tolls. 2 weeks of pause doesn't remove that lesson. It teaches everyone that Iran can tax the world's energy flow on demand. Loss number 2, outcomes versus objectives. U.S. leaders called it a total and complete victory. But Iran's near-weapons-grade stockpile remains. Missiles remain. Drones remain. The regime remains, and if anything, looks more resilient at home. In negotiations, the toughest line, the right to enrich, helped collapse talks in February. If the ceasefire cements a path where Iran keeps enrichment while the U.S. trades military pressure for maritime access, that's a net concession. Loss number 3, regional credibility. Israeli opposition figures blasted this as a historic diplomatic failure. Allies read these signals. So do adversaries. In great power politics, perception hardens into policy costs. History check. In 1973, an oil embargo reshaped Western policy. In 1956, Suez taught that control without economic cover crumbles. In 1988, U.S. force reopened lanes because leverage was at sea. Today, leverage lives at a single bottleneck Iran can squeeze without firing a shot. So what did the U.S. lose in 14 days? Negotiating leverage, swapped for temporary maritime relief. Deterrence clarity, muddled by Iran's successful straight play. Strategic narrative, as outcomes lagged objectives while prices punished voters. What's next? 2 questions decide everything. 1. Does Iran loosen its grip on the strait, or bank this as a standing lever? 2. Does Washington trade sanctions relief for an ambiguous promise on enrichment? If the past is prologue, energy choke points set the terms. And right now, Iran just wrote a rough draft.